Let's go Pats! I don't know about you, but I'm already counting down the hours until the season kicks off. Even though there are still a few months to go, my blue, red, and silver heart is already beating with excitement. Our team is well prepared and ready to reach even greater heights. Today, I need to talk about some important topics that have been creating quite a buzz behind the scenes with the Patriots, and trust me, a lot of big things are about to happen. I'm going to share everything I've learned with you. But before we dive into all the details, make sure you've hit that like button. And do it if you carry that proud Patriots spirit in your heart. It's amazing to see fans of all generations coming together for this passion. Maximum respect to each and every one of you. If you can, drop a comment below. Go Pats! Let's stay strong. Now, let's kick things off with this news. Imagine this for a second. An edge rusher so dominant he once shattered Michael Strahan's single-season sack record, a player whose very name makes offensive coordinators lose sleep. Now imagine him wearing red, white, and blue, lining up on third down with the sole mission of destroying the hopes of every AFC East quarterback. That's the vision that set Patriots Nation on fire lately, because according to multiple reports, including Bleacher Report and Adam Schefter, TJ Watt could become the biggest defensive acquisition in Foxborough since Darrelle Revis. And before you scoff or call this just another off-season fantasy, consider the breadcrumbs that have led us here. The Steelers just pulled off a blockbuster swap with the Dolphins, shipping out Minkah Fitzpatrick and welcoming Jalen Ramsey to Pittsburgh. Moves like that don't happen in a vacuum. They're signals that a franchise is retooling, rethinking, maybe even repositioning itself to cash in on star talent before it ages out or demands a mountain of cash. And let's be clear, that mountain is exactly what TJ Watt wants. Sources say he's entering the final year of his contract, expecting a payday that mirrors Myles Garrett's mega deal. For years, $160 million. Eye-watering numbers even for a franchise with over $60 million in cap space. But the Patriots aren't just any franchise. They've been linked to every marquee name on the market this offseason: Trey Hendrickson, Terry McLaurin, and yes, TJ Watt. Why? Because they can. They have the draft assets, the financial flexibility, and the pressure to surround Drake Maye with a roster that can contend in the next 2 to 3 years. Yet here's the twist that nobody can ignore. As of today, the Steelers have shown zero intention to deal Watt. None. In fact, Schefter himself tweeted that Pittsburgh hasn't budged despite Watt skipping minicamp. But when a player of his caliber starts making noise, when he holds out and leaks his frustration about a contract he feels he's outperformed, that's when front offices start quietly picking up the phone. Because a pass rusher with 22.5 sacks in a single season doesn't just transform a defense. He warps the entire strategy of opposing offenses. You don't think Bill Belichick, or now Elliott Wolf and Jerod Mayo, have replayed that highlight reel in their heads? 22.5 sacks, 7 Pro Bowls, for first-team All-Pros, a Defensive Player of the Year trophy on the shelf. Just last season, by Watt's own standards a down year, he still posted 11.5 sacks and 27 QB hits and forced 6 fumbles. Those are career-best numbers for 99% of the league's edge defenders. But for Watt, they're considered ordinary. Imagine pairing him with Christian Barmore and Milton Williams in the trenches, while Matthew Judon roams in coverage or blitzes from the second level. That's not just a good front seven, it's arguably a top 3 group in football. But here's where the dream collides with reality. Because if you want to bring in a player of that magnitude, you don't just trade a couple mid-round picks and call it a day. You pay big. The most realistic package, according to the people who cover this league every day, starts with a first-rounder and a third-rounder in 2026. And if you're New England, you have to ask yourself a brutal question. Is that worth it for a player who's already 30? By the time Drake Maye develops into a top-tier starter and the Patriots are making legitimate Super Bowl runs, TJ Watt will be in his early 30s, maybe on the back 9 of his career, all while commanding $40 million a year. This isn't just about cap space or headline splashes. It's about timing. The Patriots have a defense that's good, some would argue very good. PFF recently ranked their linebackers the 3rd best unit in the league. Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis project as a top 5 cornerback tandem. Barmore and Williams can collapse a pocket against anybody. The missing piece is an elite edge presence to turn pressures into game-changing sacks. But is that enough reason to hand over prime draft capital that could secure cornerstone talent for the next decade? Or should the Patriots focus those assets and their financial firepower on a wide receiver, maybe Terry McLaurin, to accelerate Drake Maye's development into a franchise quarterback? It's the classic roster-building dilemma. Do you mortgage a piece of your future for the proven star today? Or do you stack the deck around your rookie QB and hope that a well-rounded roster is the ticket back to January football? No matter where you fall, it's impossible to deny how tantalizing it would be to see TJ Watt bearing down on Josh Allen or Tua Tagovailoa twice a season. Because as much as this team needs offensive firepower, as much as they crave a number one receiver, defense still wins championships. And what isn't just any defender, he's the kind of player who can single-handedly flip a game, a season, maybe even a legacy. And while we can debate the cost and the wisdom, the one thing that's not up for debate is this. The rumors aren't going away. As long as what remains unsigned, as long as he keeps skipping workouts, as long as the Steelers keep their phone lines open even a crack, Patriots fans will keep dreaming. And if history has taught us anything, it's that in Foxborough, sometimes those dreams turn real in the blink of an eye. But I want to know what you think. If you were in charge, would you pull the trigger? Would you trade a first and a third for a superstar edge rusher pushing 30? Or would you hold onto those picks and build an offense that can grow with Jerod Mayo? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because this is the kind of debate that will shape the next era of Patriots football. Let's peel back another layer here, because this isn't just about the allure of adding a future Hall of Famer to the Patriots front seven. It's about the psychological warfare that a move like this would unleash across the AFC East. Picture it, the Buffalo Bills, already reeling from back-to-back playoff flameouts, staring down the barrel of TJ Watt exploding off the edge in Week 1. The Dolphins, convinced their speed and Tua's quick release are enough to neutralize any rush, suddenly forced to rewire their entire protection scheme. Even the Jets, with Aaron Rodgers trying to salvage the twilight of his career, would have to account for a pass rusher who can single-handedly end drives. That is the power of a move like this. It sends a message that New England isn't satisfied just building for the future. They want to impose their will now. And don't think for a second that's lost on Elliott Wolf and Jerod Mayo. These are football minds who understand the psychology of the game just as much as the XS and OS. They know that when you acquire a transcendent player, you don't just upgrade a position, you create fear. The kind of fear the Patriots used to inspire every Sunday during the Brady-Belichick dynasty. But there's an undercurrent of caution running through this discussion, and it's rooted in the reality that everything has a price. Watt doesn't just want a contract extension. He wants to reset the market. He wants to be the highest paid defensive player in the sport. According to projections circulating in league circles and cited by USA Today, you're looking at something in the ballpark of 4 years, $160 million. That's $40 million a season, more than some quarterbacks will earn in 2025. Yes, New England has the cap space today, but think about where this team is heading. You have Christian Gonzalez, arguably your future CB1, coming up on an extension window. You have Jerod Mayo, whose rookie deal won't last forever. You have Christian Barmore entering the prime of his career, and if he continues to develop as expected, he'll command top-tier defensive tackle money. So you have to ask yourself, do you tie up a huge chunk of your resources in an elite pass rusher now, hoping he's still dominant at 32 or 33? Or do you trust your scouting department to find the next star edge defender in the draft? That's why the price is such a sticking point. When ML Football floated a laughable trade package, Keyshawn Bout plus a third and sixth rounder, it was almost an insult to the Steelers. Everyone knows it's going to take a first and a third, minimum, and that's before you even pick up the phone to talk contract guarantees. Still,